Hello, everyone. My God. Welcome. We're back with the talk show to end this off. It has been 24 hours since we started streaming. Woo! Yeah!
Woo!
Cheers!
Hey!
Woo!
And we
Yeah!
somehow
Cheers!
survived.
Wild. The audience goes wild. Yeah, I have no idea how that happened. But we're just here to do a little bit of a talk show at the end to kind of discuss our thoughts on the nights, talk about mental illness, talk about our own personal experiences, as well as just talk a little bit about what it's like to deal with mental illness on Twitch and going into various topics on that. And we'll be opening up the floor to questions from you guys. So be sure to keep some of those in mind as we go forward. I just want to start off by thanking everyone who's participated up until this point. This has been absolutely incredible. We're at $835 right now. Excuse me. I'm trying. But we're at $835 right now. Ray, thank you so much for that follow. I need to move my webcam behind the notification box. Thank you so much, guys, all of you, for participating, for being a part of the streams. Everyone who has streamed to the main channel so far, as well as everyone who's been working in the background. So for everyone who wasn't aware, this was kind of initially my idea, with a lot of help from Ishman, who kind of like pushed me forward to move forward with it, and he was working a lot in the background. And then Super heard about it from when I posted it in the Twitch NYC Discord, and she has been absolutely instrumental in working in the background as well. Joff has been responsible for making all of the fantastic
Those gorgeous
art
graphics and that
promotional
logo.
materials.
That
Yeah.
logo is amazing, you guys.
Mhm. And he's been doing a bunch of stuff to promote it on Twitter because he's awesome as well. And Kira was one of the first people that I thought of when I wanted to do this, because I knew that she had done charity work for Project Semicolon before, and I really wanted to have you as part of this, so I'm really grateful to have you here as well. And just everyone in chat for supporting us up until this point. So let's go ahead and get things started by just going around to everyone and having everyone introduce themselves and talk about your Twitch experience, your favorite games, anything else that you kind of want to talk about. And we'll start over on the top left with Ish.
Hi guys, I'm Ish. I've talked to many of you guys who are in the community, even if you haven't streamed, and a lot of you guys that are in chat. I've seen you in other channels, but I'm Ishman223 on Twitter and Twitch. I struggle with bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, for a long time, ADHD since I was a kid. So I've always kind of carried a lot of heaviness, not just from my actual struggle, but a lot of the stigma around it, from just being called crazy or psycho when I was a kid. Some of that stuff just really weighed me down. And had some stuff that happened recently. I actually lost a friend to suicide on August 30th, and I didn't know how to cope. I even posted in Speedy's Discord that I didn't feel anything at first, and then it just started accumulating, and it got to the point where I actually went to Speedy and I said, "Hey, I know you got a lot going on. I know you have your struggles too, but it would mean a lot to me if we could use your channel as a platform for a charity stream. Just to do something good, because there's just way too much crappy stuff going on not to try and do something good." And that's kind of where his brainchild of Cast Together took off, and from there it was just like thinking up names and thinking about like exactly what we want to do, and just watching people flow in at just amazing rates. People just wanting to join and be a part of this. Like, I was expecting, people would like it, but like people who are actually wanting to make a change, and people who say like, I've been waiting for a chance to do something like this, is just really endearing. So it was kind of like a rush job to get this done, because we only came up with the idea like
Feels like two and a half weeks ago, maybe. Like,
Right?
It really was not that long ago.
And I just appreciate Speedy and then Super when she came along for just pushing so hard to get it done on time. The reason being is tomorrow afternoon is actually going to be Will's memorial service. And one of the things I talked to Speedy about was I wanted to do this charity stream, which turned into a charity marathon, which turned into a charity advocacy group. I wanted to do this that way I could go to Will's mom and tell her, hey, I know I haven't seen you in a few years, but I want you to know Will is he's making a difference. We've got, so many streamers online who are raising money. I wanted to go to her with results, saying like he really made an impact on me. Because one of the things is like, Will wasn't my best friend. I'm not trying to say that, but it was one of those things where thinking about it, I knew him from high school, and he was kind of in all of my memories. It's like I knew him since senior year. He was there for like anime club. He was there for engineering club. He was there for hanging out before and after school and at lunch. And he was at my first job. And like we dated the same girls. And so it was just one of those things. Like he was always in a lot of those memories. And just focusing on that, it made me want to do something for him. So, but yeah, I'm Ishman. I mod channels.
All right. Thank
you.
you, Ish. And Kira, why don't you tell us about yourself?
So I've been on Twitch streaming since last March, and the direction that I wanted to take streaming has changed quite a few times. And dealing with my own like depression, anxiety, BPD has made streaming sometimes quite a struggle, and also trying to do full-time school at the same time. It's hard to keep a consistent schedule when things get down to crunch time. I guess when I started, I originally did like some Minecraft, and I had started painting as a means for therapy back in last January. And I decided to do like once a week art streams when I started streaming, and the growth of the channel was a lot slower in the creative community, but it was so much less toxic for me personally, and I had a much more pleasant experience, and it made streaming a lot more worthwhile to do it with people who actually cared about like me and what I was dealing with and what I was creating and wanting to share with the world. As Speedy mentioned before, I have previously done something for Project Semicolon and another nonprofit called Away Home, which works with homeless youth. And I'm really, really honored to have been asked to join you guys, because I haven't been able to do anything in a while, and I've been wanting to do something again, but summer and I traveled and then school, and it's just didn't have the time to plan it out efficiently. So thank you so much for letting me come and join your community and be a part of this, because it really means a lot.
I mean, it's just lovely to have you. I tell you again and again, like, your art's great, you're great. We could only have been lifted up by bringing you in on this,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
So, hi, I'm Superphrenic. As my name implies, I am schizophrenic. And I also have a chronic pain disorder. So, depending on the day, I might not be able to get out of bed for several reasons. So I spend a lot of time on Twitch because it's easier for me to commit to things that are digital. Like last night, I was supposed to go to a rap show with my brother in Philly. I wouldn't even have made the drive because of physical issues. So I was here instead. Not saying it's a bad thing, just saying that, a lot of my life deals with online things. I am one of the 3 managers of Dessa Ladies, which is a group for women who play Dota. We have around 300 members. We have a stream team. We've done our own charity events. We do in-houses. We have a Discord. We have our own talk show. We have so much going on. And that's what I really like to do. I love logistics. I love planning things. I love fact-based problem solving, and that's why I wanted to get involved with Cast Together, because I knew that I could help out, because I've done similar things to this before with dealing with a charity stream with international streamers and dealing with time zones and everything. It's awful. But that's also how I cope with my illness and things that are going wrong in my brain because of schizophrenia, because I just stay like very fact-based. Like, all right, this is the schedule, this is what's happening, this is the graphic I need, this is the to-do list. So a lot of the things, like the Twitch panels and the streamer guide and the talk show question list were my contributions, because like that's how I function, is really by planning stuff out. I don't stream too often on Twitch. Sometimes I'll do crochet. Sometimes I'll do ESO. I'm a really big fan of ESO. But like I said, with the combination of mental and physical illness, it's really hard to keep a schedule. So I can't guarantee that I will be anywhere or be able to do anything at any given time.
Right, and I was really grateful to have you as a part of this as well. When you volunteered, it was honestly really refreshing to hear some sort of story about a mental illness other than depression and anxiety, and to hear you talking about how you wanted to make sure it was inclusive for all mental illness. That was something that I had considered it before, but I hadn't really thought about how to really like find people or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, and thank you for all these donations that are coming. I realize I haven't been saying them out loud, but Cake, thank you for the donation of $50. Oh my God, Cake! We're at $910 right now, guys. We're only $90 away from our goal.
Incoming
Oh my
waterworks.
God.
Incoming waterworks.
No.
That is amazing.
Oh.
I'm not gonna
God.
cry. You're gonna cry.
Oh God. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming out here for that, and you've been incredibly helpful with organization, because as much as I wanted to plan this and get this thing done, I am not one who is known for planning things. Ask anyone who has played D&D with me. I am not good at planning things.
Yeah, I mean, when I came to help, I was like, hey, I have some suggestions. Could you have minutes of voice chat? And then we got in, and I was like, all right, this is what's gonna happen. And then 45 minutes later, like I had everything like planned out, and Speedy was just like, okay, sounds good. And I was like, I kind of felt bad just for kind of like steamrolling in, but at the same time, like planning is what I love to do. So.
It's actually funny because I remember when they had the first conversation, because I wasn't there, but like I was on Discord, so I saw it there. And I'm like, I see them in like the voice chat. I'm like, either something really good or really bad is happening right now.
It could have gone either way, honestly.
It could have gone either
Depending
way.
on how receptive I was to it. But no,
Roll a charisma
everything
check.
you were offering was incredibly helpful, and like a lot of things that I hadn't considered. Without you, this stream would be literally completely different. So I'm really grateful to have you. And Insomniacs Inc., thank you for donating $40. Rem, we are $50 away for our donation goal.
Oh,
We're $50
goodness.
away. We're $50 away, right? I can't. And I'll turn things over to Joff. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, geez. Okay, on the back of everyone else's stories, and on the back of the donations as they're rolling in, and seeing people that I know and love a great deal giving up money. I'm pretty new to Twitch. I actually haven't streamed in about 4 to 6 weeks because of issues. Issues that actually are quite pertinent. And I'm hoping to fix that. And I've been streaming. When I have been streaming, it's mostly creative. I've been streaming my process in Illustrator and Photoshop and sharing tips and tricks. And occasionally playing games like Nidhogg and Kingdom. I suffer from manic depression, or at least it used to be manic depression about 23 years ago back in England. Turns out that manic depression is another cute name for bipolar. So I'm working towards a diagnosis of bipolar, which in my book would actually be good news, because then I'd know what label to use on myself. I also suffer from every kind of anxiety under the sun, and I'm currently on 2 different types of medication. Actually, you're probably going to see me take my pills, because my time is going to go up soon. I'm on a veritable cocktail of pills, and they actually help me function. And I'm part of Cast Together because the wonderful Speedy and the beautiful Ish asked me I mean, come on, Ish, that beard. Because you guys, because you guys asked, and because of the cause, and because of Project Semicolon, and because I would do anything to help you guys, and I would do anything to help anyone in this community, and it's because of Blades in the Dark 6 and 20 on Speedy's channel. It's the fact that Speedy personally invited me to be part of his crew that I know any of you. So Speedy, I owe you so much. And the community has come together and helped me in the past. So the graphics is the least I could do. Being part of this stream, the talk show, is the least I can do, and I will do more. And I can't wait until the second marathon and the third marathon and the fourth marathon. I can't wait until we're doing a 72-hour cast together marathon, and you all break.
I'm very sorry.
Broken.
I'm very sorry, but before we get away from
God.
it, he acts like it was a huge favor of us to invite him. But Joff, when I asked you, hey, is there anything would you like to join us, or if you can contribute anyway, he was like, yeah, I'll make graphics for you guys. Just give me at least 24 hours. 48 hours, I can make anything happen for you guys. And it's like, okay, well, how much do you want? How much can we give you for it? Because you always respect your artists and give them what they're worth. Yes. And this man is worth so much, and he offered all the media stuff he's done for us so far. He said free of charge. He wouldn't accept anything. This is a beautiful man, and we are the ones blessed to have him.
Yes. And same goes for Blades in the Dark. I chose you because you are a fantastic person, because I really liked you as a person, and I knew that you would be able to do amazing things with it. And guys, we're at $1,040.
What?
Thanks to, oh my god, thanks to donations from, oh god, I don't have the Streamlabs up.
God.
Louise got us to $1,000 with a donation of $50.
Lulu.
Does someone else have Streamlabs up?
I do. I got you, fam. Don't worry, I got you.
I was looking at it and amazed, but
we have, for most recently, $20 from Brahms, $20 from Mackers, $50 from Luis, and $40 from Insomniac, $50 from Cake.
It's just incredible, you guys. And then
further on, we've just all
whole
marathon has been amazing. Wraith, Tex, everybody who's donating, everybody who just showed up to support us.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You guys, fuck. We're not doing a talk show here. And Insomniac's donated another $6 because he wants to be on top of the leaderboard.
Rem says, I want to be on top of that leaderboard. God dang it.
Oh my god. This is supposed to be a talk show, but I think we're all just going to cry about how amazing you all are.
And this is amazing because when we were planning, we were saying, do we go for 500? Is 1,000 too much? Are we going to have our donation bar this much filled up? And we did it. So
it's I told Speed, let's go for 1,000, and even if we don't meet it, it's more about getting it out there, and it is about getting out there and talking about the stuff, which we will get to, I promise you guys. But the fact that we took this goal with the mindset that, hey, it's okay if we don't get it, and we've blown it out of the water, we just meeting it is blowing out of the water. We're past goal now. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, God, I can't believe it. You guys are all fantastic. I guess I'll do my introduction. For those who are unaware, I am Speedy, or NotSoSpeedRuns. And I stream on Twitch. I do indie games and D&D and stuff. And I have always had a very personal relationship with mental illness. It's never been very far from me. Oh god, Rethix, thank you for that donation. Since I was young, I had always, I think, suffered from depression, but I literally never even considered that might have been what it was. I spent so long just telling myself that I was just worthless and lazy and just felt very much alone, and I went for a very long time feeling like that before I ever came to the realization that maybe it was something that was out of my control, that I wasn't just ignoring everything. And it's been something that's been very close to me in a lot of ways. I've had friends and loved ones who I've been very close to, who have self-harmed and who have come very close to committing suicide. Thank God haven't had to go through that. I've had parents, grandparents, alcoholism on all sides, and I've after joining Twitch, I started to see a lot more of this kind of talk around Twitch of all streamers who kind of get wrapped up in streaming. They get wrapped up in numbers, or they find themselves getting burnt out. And the ways that Twitch can help us as a community are amazing, but it's important to recognize that it can be a dangerous thing, and that you should never ignore your mental health for any reason. You should, always have that at the forefront of your mind, and not be afraid to talk about it, not be afraid to take time for yourself, because you're not disappointing anyone by missing a stream to go, take a mental health day. You are doing a great service to everyone around you. You're telling everyone in your community that's okay to take breaks, that it's okay to take time for yourself, and that they should feel comfortable talking about it too. And that's kind of why I wanted to start this whole thing. And I'm just so amazed that it has come this far. I'm just out of words.
Just so much stuff went right for this, man. So much
could have gone wrong. Literally, the first 10 minutes, my stream crashed. I lost internet for a brief minute, and I was like, oh god, this isn't gonna happen. Everything is falling apart.
But actually, that was a good thing, because it reminded me to automatically archive broadcast, so we saved the entire
thing.
Charity stream.
That's good. Yes. God.
Well, now that we have all our introductions in Speedy, I see that Dice Rolling Mama has a question for us in chat. She says, "Can you guys tell us how each of you self-care and what it means to you?" So you guys have just heard more or less what each of us struggle with. Speedy, do you want to start with that one?
I don't know that I am the best example of this, to be honest, because I try to take care of myself as best I can, but it's something that I still struggle with. The best thing that I can say is to take breaks, to not be afraid to say to someone, I really need to take a mental health day, whether that be at work or just with friends. If you're the kind of person who you don't want to ever have to feel obligated to do anything, whether that be a social interaction or work or streaming or whatever it is, if you are not feeling up to it, and at the same time, though, it's important to realize, I think one of the better things that you can do for self-care is reaching out to someone who you love, that you care about, and just talking to them, whether it be about your mental illness or just talking to someone, reminding yourself that you have friends, that there's someone out there who cares about you, and if you can manage to just be able to spend some time with someone and remind yourself that it's not you're not just alone in this tiny enclosed space, that can really do wonders. Anyone else want to jump in?
Well, just because you started out by saying, I'm not the best person to give an example of this, but honestly, man, it's one of the things that I've learned that's helped me get better is it's okay to struggle, because struggling means you haven't given up. At the very least, it means you haven't given up. And that's one of those things is I, for the longest time, didn't know what was going on with me, because I grew up with bipolar disorder, and there was times where they medicated me for ADHD, and they medicated me for that, for depression, for anxiety, and still there was something not right. Finally, when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, I had a name for it, like Joff was saying, and I had to struggle with like, oh crap, you know, I'm broken. But it's not clear cut like that. There's parts that are arranged differently in each of us, and I'm still finding a way to make this machine work. And just the fact that, oh, I'm struggling or I'm not good at something, that doesn't mean I'm wrong for trying. So I mean, just like you said, take breaks, learn to talk with people. That's one of the things that helped me out, was opening up to leadership at my church, opening up to friends, even opening up to people who I just identified with in a moment. Like, sometimes it just takes a little bit of opening of the heart to, you know, really release yourself from something that's weighing you down.
And actually, I can add to that, because that's exactly what I'm doing over on Twitter. Anyone that follows me on Twitter has seen me attempt to share my mental health journey, and it's exactly that. I took a chance. I made a decision when I started therapy earlier this year that I was going to share my experience, and that included the good and the bad. And recently, there's a lot more bad than there is good. And I actually got to the point where I stopped recording these videos because I was doing video updates after my appointments. And I just realized that it's boring. No one wants to see this. It's depressing. What's the point? You're not helping. And I actually taught myself out of doing it. And it took a lot of people actually poking me and asking me about the videos before I started doing them again. But as self-care goes, take breaks. Don't bully yourself. I mean, depression lies, and depression will continue to lie even as you take medication. It's such a beast. Be aware of those lies. Be aware of the whispered taunts. And the other thing is, when in doubt, have a couple people that you can really trust. Friends, family, loved ones. Have a couple people that when you ask them for help, that they'll give it. That if they tell you something's off or that you need to slow down, please listen to them. Because you'll burn out, and it happens to us all, and we will take more and more on to distract ourselves, and we'll work ourselves into the ground. And even if it's fun projects, even if you think you're doing, you know, a dozen really cool things, it will snowball and it will fall apart underneath you. And then you're forced to take time off. Then you're forced to recover. You'll get physically ill, or you'll become exhausted. So you have to make time for yourself, and it can be in small bites, small bursts, but you have to do it. Yeah, that's what I do, and I'll own it. I have a huge problem slowing down. It's appealing to distract myself. It's very appealing to be busy, and as has happened the last few days, I've been very sick. You can kind of hear it. I lost my voice the last couple of days. I've been laid up, missing work, and making excuses as well for, you know, why I couldn't go in. And it feels like excuses as well. You're physically ill. You're actually physically ill, and I'm still feeling bad and guilty about it. So don't do what I do.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Do as I say, not as I do. And yeah. And trust me on that, please. I'm an example of what not to do. Look after yourself. Go easy. Be kind to yourself.
Be open to correction, sounds like.
Be open to correction. Be open to other people giving you advice. Listen to it. They mean the best for you.
Preach. Preach. How about you girls? Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I do want to add about slowing down. For me personally, what I've been doing to cope with my anxiety and my panic attacks is to practice mindfulness recently. And it's so helpful, even if you're just taking the time to really appreciate your surroundings and live in the moment. And you can take that mindfulness towards meditation, yoga, and, you know, whenever I used to hear people saying, oh, I do meditation, it makes me feel like really nice and grounded. Just the word meditation before used to make me feel like hoity-toity, like hippie people, right? Right? But honestly, there's so many different types of like meditative videos that you can watch on YouTube, free to access, and they're incredibly helpful. For me, I have trouble sleeping, and I tend to experience panic attacks while trying to fall asleep. And I've been listening to meditative videos that just are very calming. And I need ones that don't focus on like, now breathe in and breathe out, because this anxiety is from hyper awareness of my own body. So if I focus on my breathing, it just sets it off.
It's like when you focus on your breathing, it's like you stop breathing.
Right.
Right. So, you know, you might need to do a bit of searching to try and find something that really works for you, but it is so helpful for when you do find those things that help. And there was another point brought up too about having people to reach out to. It's so crucial. And I think we can all say that there's been points in our lives where we felt like we literally had nobody to turn to. And there's always somebody that loves you. And, you know, sometimes relationships with people, including family, might not be the best. One of the things that I found to do to help combat that kind of issue is to also go and go out and try and put yourself out there. Just it's so hard to do, but if you can do it, you know, just go out to a movie and talk to the people in line with you. Just small chit chat, just very little things. Or even if you're just walking somewhere and you smile at somebody, just that little bit of human to human, like, recognition, even if it's just like the tiniest bit of body language, it can change the way that you think like that. And it can also help somebody else too in the process. And then besides like those kind of things, I do my art for therapy. So those are my coping mechanisms for what I've been dealing with recently.
So I'm going to go like against completely what everyone else said, not because they're wrong, but because mental illness is different for every person. So the solution is different for every person. Right. What makes me feel better is not what makes you feel better. So my biggest struggle is with psychotic breaks because I'm schizophrenic. So these are really dangerous times where it's not good for me to be around other people, not because I'm an aggressive person who's going to like start a physical fight with you, but I'll argue with you, I'll be mean to you, I'll be talking in a way that doesn't make sense, and then I'll get mad at you for not understanding me. It's not really your fault, but it's not really mine either. So when I need to take care of myself during those times, first of all, I get ready in advance because I have food in my house. It doesn't take any way to prepare. I have yogurt shakes, I have protein drinks, I have microwavable burritos that aren't complete trash. And that way I know that if I'm having a bad time, I don't have to leave. My food is right here. I also can't work, so that's like another factor of it. And during those breaks, I know you need to take your medication, you need to get into bed, you need to get into the blankets, and you need to put on Frasier, and you need to sit there and not yell at anyone for the next 2 days. So I'll go offline on Steam, I'll go invisible on Discord. My friends know what I'm doing. They call it my hibernation. So they'll say, when I start to come back and like, I'll post like a meme in my own Discord, like poking, like my groundhog poking my head out. They were like, "Are you done with your hibernation?" We're like, "No, I'm not done with my hibernation." Then I go offline for another 6 hours. But yeah, so the way you manage is so individual to you and what you need in your life. So for many people, talking it out is the best thing for you. But for certain kinds of symptoms, certain kinds of illnesses, the best thing for you is just like getting through a hurricane. You just like hunker down and you get through it. And then once you're back up on your feet, then, you know, then you can go out to therapy, you can make like bigger plans, you can do all these other things. But when you're in that, it's not like a psychiatric emergency because I don't have to go to the hospital every time. I just always be in the hospital. But when you're in that kind of episode.
When you're in an episode, yeah.
Right. For me, the best thing to do is just get on that couch, get under that blanket, and you watch TV until you feel better. Because going out in public, driving a car, these are not things you can do right now.
There was one point where I'd gone to Speedy, and I was like I was really messed up, and he sent me the YouTube link for what's the name of the band? Ramshackle Glory.
Ramshackle Glory, yeah. Your
heart is a muscle the size of your fist, and I'm like, I told, who did I tell? Abigator. I'm like, Speedy's making me cry right now, and so she started sending me stuff for the next I'm not even lying, for like the next day I listened to that song like 100 times. I must have just
Yeah.
on repeat. And like
I-
it was one of those ways that I was able to cope with a lot of stuff. That's it wasn't mental illness, but it was mental state of being, which is also very important, and we want to be inclusive of is people who don't have an illness but are going through something rough, like dealing with someone else's suicide. It really helped me to like, I was angry at so much, I want to break stuff, and I needed to like, I needed something, and that song just helped me get a lot of those feelings out that I couldn't voice.
Yeah, music can be incredibly helpful, and I felt the same way the first time I heard that song.
And I'm singing in my head.
I'm pretty sure I listened to it about 100 times the next couple
So
days
good.
as well. It's just, and it's
I'm gonna
a
type
song
in
that
chat.
deals with mental illness and suicide in it. And it's a song that's important to me as well. I've thought about getting a tattoo of it at some point. But yeah, everyone does have their own kind of different ways to help themselves, because all mental illnesses are different. Even the same mental illnesses between different people can be different. So even if, one person, two people who have depression or two people who have bipolar disorder, they can have completely different things that can help them. Just because of your own personal experiences or the way that your brain works just slightly differently. So it's important to take that into consideration. Also, the fact you brought up a good point, Super, which is that it's not like a constant thing, or at least not for everyone. That it's mental illness is a thing that comes and goes, and you shouldn't have to. It's not something that you are always. I mean, it's something that is always there, but it's not something that you are always just dealing with, and I think that's something that a lot of people struggle to realize. Where like.
It's like rain in Florida. It rains and it'll stop for 5 minutes or longer, and then it starts raining again. But it's not constantly raining here.
Right. But it's like if you tell someone that you're depressed and they're like, "What do you mean you're not depressed? You were like laughing like 10 minutes ago." That's not how that works. Depression is a constant thing, or it's a part of you in a way.
Although it feels constant sometimes.
It does, but-
I think the weather is a really great metaphor, and it's one that I use a lot with my physical illness too, because having a good day is like having a sunny day. It doesn't mean that there will never be a thunderstorm again in all of time. It just means that today it is sunny and nice. Tomorrow it might be awful. There are many ways the weather can be awful, but the weather is always there. It's not a light switch whether it's on or off. It's just a different type of weather.
It's like it could be a light drizzle or a hurricane. You don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I remember I used to go to a group therapy, and the group therapy didn't end up working out for me, but that's the process of trying to figure out what works for you. It's a trial and error. But one of the things that we would do at the beginning of every meeting was just go around the circle and say like the single word to describe the kind of weather that we're feeling that day. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, there's a reason why cartoons have the little stormy cloud above the sad person.
Sadness, yeah.
There's a reason that it's such a good metaphor, because it works. It's worked for ever.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of Welcome to Night Vale, which is an amazing podcast. But they have on their show, it's like a fictional radio show from a community. It's like really good and deals with mental illness, and it deals with a lot of really cool things. But they have the weather, and whenever they announce the weather, it's not actually like a weather report. They play a song, and I think that's just like, I think it's just really interesting that it's like a metaphor that everyone seems to understand, is that that weather is music, is feeling, that kind of thing. But yeah, were there any other questions that came up in chat?
Not that I saw.
All right. Well, we had a few more that we wanted to talk about. We have only 10 minutes left on this stream.
Aw.
Oh my God, I'm so just absolutely blown away.
Why? We need more time.
I know.
One more time.
We
To make
okay.
this a weekly talk show.
Oh,
We
It's,
thought about it.
it's
It's been something that has been discussed.
Graceful Fish has a question apparently,
All right.
but while he types it out, let's go over one of our talking points.
I have something I want to bring up real quick if I have the time to do it, and we're still waiting on questions. That like we just said, your days go up and down. Sometimes you have days where you're really capable, and sometimes you have days where you're not. But I think that in terms of dealing with it, you're always the best authority on your mental illness. You're always the best authority on what you're going through. And I feel it on a different level because being schizophrenic, people think I'm inherently unreliable, which couldn't be farther from the truth, because I have times where I am the person with the most like clarity in the room.
I can confirm you're very reliable.
So one of the things that I've been working on, and anyone can do on their own, is I have a series of worksheets that I'm working on where you fill out the different kinds of moods that you could have. So mine would be dissociated, active psychosis, depressed, panicked, flashbacks, etc. And then you fill out what would help you during that time, because everyone has a different way of thinking what might help. So if you're going through a bad time, maybe you want to do something else to take your mind off of it, but someone else wants to talk about it to you constantly. Or maybe you want to bring it up once and forget about it, but if the other person doesn't mention it, then you feel like they're ignoring you. So I make these worksheets. So it's like, do you want to talk about it in this state? Yes or no? Would you like to have the lights bright or dark or dim? Do you want loud music? Do you want soft music? Do you need to be reminded to eat? And it's just like the ideal of how you would get through it, your surroundings, and how other people would help you. It doesn't mean that, you know, if I'm in a psychotic break, someone's going to come and bring me pizza every day. But it does mean that...
That was so great.
I'd be so sick physically. But it does mean that if I have someone who's staying with me, they can recognize, all right, we're going to keep the lights on today, but we're going to keep the sound down low. And she's probably not going to say anything to me the entire day. And that's how we're going to get through this. But you are the best authority on how to do that. And you can write that down. You can put that together. You can work on that when you're feeling better to make a resource for other people to help you when you're not feeling good.
That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's a really good idea, because there are a lot of people around you, no matter what. If you haven't told them, there are a lot of people around you who want to help, even if you don't know them that well. I think most of us here, or at least a good part of the community that we've built, is built around, you know, wanting to help people. And so the best way to kind of get yourself help is to let someone know what actually helps you, because you don't want anyone to be trying to help you too hard or anything like that.
Honestly, one thing that reminds me that it's okay to be quote unquote sick is I think of some of my favorite famous people who've been successful. Like one of my favorite artists is Van Gogh. Mm-hmm. And I love like all of his work, even his shitty work. I love it. And I think of that, and I think of like actors or actresses that I know who struggle with that, or like prominent people who did good things in politics throughout history, or at least mostly good things in politics throughout history. I try to think about that stuff, and it reminds me like, hey, like I might be in a bad way now, but like I don't have to contribute it to the fact I'm sick. I don't have to blame my mental illness. I just have to get through it. Because I mean, it didn't stop other people from being great. Why can't it? Why would I let it stop me? You know. And granted, I'm probably not running for president, but that's just because I don't want that job. That would be a terrible job.
Having mental health issues does not make you less than human. Everyone has something. Everyone's dealing with something. It may not get labeled as a mental health issue, but everyone deals with something. And so many people have depression at least one time in their life. It just happens that for many of us that we deal with it constantly, that we're dealing with these mental health issues, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, that we deal with these things daily, and it can be exhausting, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's like Super said, you know, you have to be your own best health advocate. You know what's best for you. Professionals help, friends, family help. Mm-hmm. You know what you need. And unfortunately, and I'll speak from my own personal experience, it took me hitting rock bottom to realize what I needed. It took some major life changes to realize that, but I'm on the road to recovery and I'm doing well, and I have fun and I smile and I laugh, and some days it's drizzling and some days it's pouring and some days there are hurricanes. But I appreciate
you said hurricane.
Hurricane.
It sounds like a move in Street Fighter, like hurricane.
I've been pretending to be British for like 4 decades.
Yeah, I mean you're bound to slip up once in a while. It's okay.
Exactly. But yeah, there are good days and there are bad, and you just have to realize that there is help available on your worst days. And as long as you're aware of that, and as long as you have tools to help combat your worst days, super. This idea of when to climb into bed and watch Frasier. You know when that's necessary. You know what you need and when you need it. I have a similar set of tools that when it gets bad, especially my anxiety, I can turn to those tools to combat my anxiety. It's not quite the same with depression, but it can be as simple as, if you feel sad, listen to a happy song. It sounds really stupid, but my therapist has actually pushed that. You want to change the channel, go for a walk, have a shower. It sounds really stupid, but these little physical changes in behavior go a long way, at least combating depression and anxiety. They work for me. It won't work for everyone.
I know expanding the spectrum a little bit from depression and anxiety, still more common than some things like schizophrenia or BPD, but with my bipolar disorder for my hypomanic episodes and ADHD, there's often times where, and I hate when my mom does this. This is a trigger for me. It makes me really, really angry. But it's my mom will turn to me and she goes, "Matthew, did you take your medicine today?" And granted, it could be an innocuous question like, "Hey, did you remember your meds?" That's fine. But I know how my mom means it. And it just sets me off. It's one of those things that really gets me. And I'm trying so hard to teach her, like Super said, I know the things I need. And sometimes I'm trying to tell my mom. So if I'm having a manic episode or a depressive episode with my bipolar, or if I'm like manic and hyper from ADHD and I just need to kind of internalize myself, because it's also very self-conscious. You have to like tell when you're doing that, and then I need to like close myself off. But there's times where my mom's like, "Hey, you want to talk about it? Or, like, why are you feeling this way?" It's like, "Mom, I love you, but I don't want to talk to you right now. And you know that I tell you that every single time. Please stop asking." It's also knowing like not just what you do need, but making sure you know what you don't need, and making sure that people who are trying to help you, like Super said, let them have a list, whether you talk to them about it or you write it down or you make it known somehow, of also what you do need and what you don't need. Sometimes you need to put on Frasier and be left alone. Sometimes you need to talk, but just not to certain people. Like my mom, like I love her, but she's not on a point where I want to talk to her about anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, ADHD, suicidal thoughts, or anything else. Like I don't want, and for various, I can't even name all the reasons because we're running out of time. But there's so many reasons why she's not the right person. So it's know who you need to educate on what to do and who to educate on what not to do.
Yes.
That's a really good point, because I know that very well as well. That my moms
are difficult. I love my mom.
Moms are difficult.
It's my dad for me.
Yeah, my mom occasionally tries. My mom alternates between kind of berating me for it and then realizing that maybe that's not the right way to do things, and then apologizing and wanting me to open up to her. And it's really hard to just kind of recognize
That's what my mom
like
does.
I can't open up to you when you are in essence part of the problem. Not that I want to call her a problem, because she does support me in so many ways, and I do still love her a lot.
Yeah, like
but,
my mom was one of those people who used to call me psycho when I was a kid, and this is before any of the bipolar stuff or depression or anxiety. This was just when I was ADHD, just a little too hyper. She would call me psycho then, and that's what started this stigma in myself, not even caring what the world thought of mental illness, but just knowing something was broken in me. And it's like that's something that I'm going to deal with for my whole life. Like I love my mom, but it's something that's going to stick with me for a long time, if not forever. And so it just means that that's not going to be the person that I talk to for a long time until we get things sorted out. Like Speedy said, I love my mom, but you can't go from, a decade of treating me like crap and pushing all this on me a certain way to, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. It's like, where were you 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of experiencing a sort of similar thing where through recent diagnosis in the last couple of years, family members don't have the full capacity to understand the extent of mental illness, and that, me being on antidepressants or antipsychotics for like 3 months isn't going to solve it, and that it's just a temporary thing. And it is learning about when, as much as you love somebody, sometimes if they're not able to give you the love and support that you need, you kind of have to set personal boundaries with them and be very self-aware of your capacity to be able to handle being with that person for some time being. And currently for me, it's if he brings up a topic about my mental health, I can't talk to him about it, so I say everything is fine. And I'm hoping one day down the road, that through a lot of communication and understanding and increasing awareness and empathy surrounding it, that we'll be able to have a conversation. But that's something that's in the works right now, and it's a good thing to try and recognize with the people around you, that if they're draining you too much because they don't have the capacity, that's not necessarily their fault, but you have to be aware of both yourself and the people that you have.
And that's something I actually had a conversation IRL about recently, was that tendency, that Pavlov's conditioning for when we hear someone ring that bell of, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's okay. Everything's fine.
Exactly.
We're conditioned to not share our problems either because we know about judgments, or it hurts to open up, or a plethora of other reasons why we need to not say, hey, there's something wrong. And that's one thing that you have to learn is deconditionize yourself, or decondition, sorry, wrong word. But get yourself out of that mindset that, if someone's just being formal and you try opening up to them, they say, screw off, like, better not to go to them. But on the off chance that you need help and you open up and they're there for you, that never pass up an opportunity for help. Never, ever pass up an opportunity to open up and get help, because it's like Joff was saying earlier, it'll just build up otherwise, and then you'll be forced to take time, and it won't be the fun way.
Yeah.
It is okay to not be okay sometimes. That's a key takeaway. But we are out of time here today, so we're gonna have to be wrapping things up. But we will be doing more of these. Hopefully, we'll be doing more of these charity streams. We don't have one in the works yet, but we certainly will. And we're going to talk about what we're going to be doing with this channel, potentially doing some more streams with it, potentially doing more stuff like this, because I really do enjoy talking about this with you guys, and I think it's a really good thing to do.
One thing you can do if you want to stay in touch with us is I just posted a link to, it's a sign up for if you're interested in getting involved with us, whether you're a streamer, a mod, or just somebody who wants to help advocate. We're going to be constantly looking for people to volunteer for upcoming events, constantly looking for ideas to do outreach to an online community, and even IRL, because I would love to see this expand more than from our computers. But constantly keep in touch with you in there. Also, our Twitter, you can constantly find our updates. Not Twitter, I'm an idiot. But our Twitter, we're going to be releasing a lot of information just on our upcoming events. Even if you're not able to get involved, you can at least keep up with us there. You can send people our way, and just help spread the good word of loving each other and treating each other like actual human beings. Go figure. Isn't that a novel idea?
But yeah, that's you guys, if you want to get involved, that's the best way to do it. You can help support. You can join the Discord. If you ever need anyone to talk to, we have a really loving community there, who is pretty much always willing to help. And it's a really great community to be a part of. Also, if you're a streamer and you want to support us, you can stream to the Cast Together community on Twitch, and you can raise money for Project Semicolon or any mental health charity that you choose. And we'll try to support you as much as we can. Just tag us on Twitter, and we'll retweet, we'll host whatever it takes to help you out with your charity streams. All of tomorrow, actually, this is supposed to be a charity weekend, so all of tomorrow we're hoping to have people streaming to the Cast Together community. I know Kira said that she was going to do it to be finishing up her postcards, as did Sailor to finish up her art that she's going to be sending away. So we will be doing that. We're also going to be we have a giveaway for the people who donated today. I think we need to get that rolling. I don't have it set up right now.
I mean, we can release it Sunday night or Monday morning.
Yeah, what we'll do is we will post it on Twitter, the results of it. And if you win, just make sure to send us a DM, and we will give you the reward. There's a bunch of Steam keys involved, and other good stuff. So I think that is all we have for today, and for this 24-hour stream.
I think we're going to do one more raffle to close out the stream. We have some stuff to give away. You'll be getting something. Don't know what you'll be getting something. And yeah, then for the raffles and the giveaways that are still open, we'll be contacting you the next day. Just give us some time, because this was a very long haul for us, but totally worth it.
Yes.
You guys have just we were worried we have a couple people show up. You guys have just overwhelmed us with your love, support, and generosity. It's
yeah.
Guys, really...
Thank you all so much. Honestly, I can't believe that this is a thing that really happened, and that I was in some way involved in it. All throughout the day, people were like thanking me for organizing this, and I was like, "Oh God, no, don't do this to me." So you guys are all wonderful. So thank you guys all so much. We'll be ending things up here. God. Yeah.
Look at all these people. Yeah, guys, get into that raffle. We'll get you guys some good stuff. Just one more thing is, for tomorrow, if you see people who are streaming, or if you're streaming, if you can help it, end your stream in a raid and try to find somebody else who's streaming to the Cast Together community, just so we can keep this rolling, because we are doing this as an official thing throughout the weekend. So we just ask for that little extra bit of support. And like I said, follow us on social media. And if you want to get in our Discord, we'll be releasing more information there for upcoming events. And I love you guys so much.
Also, if you stream to the community tomorrow and you raise money for Project Semicolon, if you raise more than $50, is a really low amount. All you have to do is get $50. We will send you a Project Semicolon T-shirt. They've been generous enough to provide so much to us. So that is it. That is all we have. And I'm going to end it now, because I have another thing to do. So thank you guys so much. You're all amazing. And I hope to see you all soon. Have a good night, everyone. I love you.
Bye. And we're clear.